Hi. In this particular content, I want to clearly teach you how to handle poultry and livestock diseases and infections. Perhaps you're a poultry farmer and you don't know anything about symptoms or signs and symptoms of sicknesses or diseases or infections in poultry. You are too far from getting the right value for your investment, because infections can ruin your business. Every poultry farmer needs to know the signs and symptoms of every diseases of poultry. For instance, you have bacteria, you have viral infections, you have fungal infections, and the rest of them. Each of these infections have their signs and symptoms which you must know as a poultry farmer. In this particular video, I'm not going to give you all the signs and symptoms of different infections, but I want to specifically tell you more about coccidiosis, because I've received over 50 calls recently on how to handle coccidiosis. Many farmers are right now losing their birds to high mortality because of this particular infection I'm discussing here, the coccidiosis. There are three major ways of handling coccidiosis. One is through good hygiene or hygienic method. Another one is chemotherapeutic method. That is through the use of medications that can handle or that can inhibit the bacteria that cause the coccidiosis infection. Another one is through immunization. When you talk about immunization, you are talking about prevention method. So we have the hygienic method, that is through good biosecurity. We have the chemotherapeutic method, that is the use of medications that can handle, either organic or synthetic, that can handle or that can help you prevent or treat coccidiosis. And the immunization method, which is through vaccination or through biosecurity or preventive method of handling coccidiosis infection. Now let me go with the hygienic method. Every poultry farmer have to develop a very good biosecurity. If right now you are having challenges of bacteria or coccidiosis in your poultry pen, how do you identify that your poultry bird or livestock are having this infection? One, ruffle feather. If your birds are having ruffle feather, their feather looks as if water is poured on them, or they look as if they are feeling cold, or they are even feeling cold even when there is heat or when there is a lot of sunshine and they are still feeling cold. They cluster together, they gather themselves together, they look too dull. Even when you go in to give them food, they don't rush the food. No matter how well they are fed, they still run to one corner and cluster together and gather themselves in order to touch their body, in order to cluster, to generate heat, to allow the heat that is generated from other birds to do what? To shed them. That means they have infection. If their poultry droppings, or the one you call poop, or anything you may call it, is reddish, too reddish, that looks like a body fluid, it means they have coccidiosis, and this is the third stage of the coccidiosis attack. That means it has gone to their intestinal tract. This is too bad. This one can definitely cause high mortality. In fact, once their droppings turns to red, it means that the chance of survival is 70-30. It's not even 50-50 any longer. They have low survival rate once they start dropping red. Another one is when their dropping is brownish in color. That means second stage of the coccidial attack. Second stage. At this stage, you can easily handle it with synthetic or organic extracts that can handle coccidious infection. At this stage also, the droppings is purely brown in color. It is second stage. Watery in color or diarrhea, watery diarrhea is also a sign of coccidious attack also in poultry. You can use synthetic drugs, synthetic medications like amprolium and the rest of them, depending on the type or breed of poultry you are rearing. For instance, you are rearing egg-laying birds or breeding birds. When you talk about egg-laying birds, are those chickens that lay table eggs for you. You are an egg dealer. They lay the egg for you and you sell the eggs to make your own money. There is another stage of egg-laying birds also that are for breeding. That means they lay the egg, you incubate the eggs, hatch it, and sell the day-old chicks. Once it has to do with egg-laying birds, it's not every synthetic medication that you give to your egg-laying birds. In the comment section, you can ask me and I will be able to tell you what to do in this particular situation, because I'm not here to advertise any particular product or any particular medications at all. So that's why I will not be able to give you the names of the medication that can handle both the egg-laying birds and meat-producing birds like broilers. But you have to be very careful when you are into egg production. If you are having layers, it's not all the coccidial medication that you need to give them if you don't want to lose your profit. Now, if you are into broiler production and your birds are having coccidious attack, it means you need to be extra vigilant. You need to be extra careful. If not, you are going to lose almost all your birds. Yes, coccidiosis is a bacterial infection that generally attack almost all the poultry birds. In fact, almost all the feathered birds. It attacks broilers, layers, guinea fowl, dog, geese, squares, turkey, geese, and the rest of them. Remember that these coccidiosis have different species. They have different strains of coccidiosis. And each of the strains can be handled organically. So there are medications that you can use to handle them. Organic extracts from plants that can effectively handle or inactivate the bacteria, the enzymes that cause the harms, that cause the danger for these particular birds. Natural extracts like carica papaya seed. If you know pawpaw very well, that is scientifically known as carica papaya, the seed can effectively inhibit or stop or control the proliferation of the dangerous bacteria. There are natural ways you can control or stop the spread of coccidiosis in your poultry pen. One is through the use of green tea extract. Green tea, if you know green tea very well, if you don't know about it, please, you can Google it. Green tea extracts can effectively inactivate the enzymes that cause the sporulation or the spread of the bacteria that do what? Give advantage to bacterial infection in poultry. This green tea is very active because it has a very active ingredient that can stop the spread of coccidiosis in your poultry. Once you use the extract, administer it to your poultry birds. If you can as well use it to do what? Prevent it from getting the attack at all. You can as well use carica papaya seed. blend it properly well, dry it, blend it properly well, and add it to their feed and give it to them at average of 200 grams for 100 birds. At least you can mix it with one full bag of feed. Or you can as well grind it to powder form and dilute it with water and give it to your 100 birds. Do this for complete between 5 to 7 days. You will get a very good and sound result that your birds have been cleared of any bacterial or coccidiosis infection. You can as well use grape seed. If you know grape very well, get the seed up to 200 grams of the seed and grind it properly well. After grinding it, use it to mix one bag of 25 kg feed and give it to your birds. Do this continuously, depending on the number of birds you have. Assuming you have 100 birds, you can use 200 grams per day. 200 grams per day. Between 5 to 7 days, you will get cleared. Your birds will get cleared of any coccidial attack or any infection that is as a result of coccidiosis. Whether it is green poo or green diarrhea, or whether it is green poo, green diarrhea, red, brown, watery diarrhea, all this will be cleared within a space of 5 to 7 days. Your birds will be okay. All the signs and symptoms will clear and your birds becomes active again. Depending on how or the extent this particular infection have gone into the life of your poultry birds, assuming you are so careless that you didn't notice it on time and they have been infected seriously that they hardly eat, what do? Get a cocoa leaf. If you know cocoa very well, though I'm going to develop a very good content on that cocoa leaf alone, get a cocoa leaf. Blend that cocoa leaf very well or pound it, depending on the method you think that is very good for you. Either you blend it or pound it. Get the extract of that cocoa leaf, about 1 full hand of it or about 5 grams of that cocoa leaf. Blend it properly well, mix it with water up to 1 kg or 10-liter drinking water or 10-liter drinker. Mix it with that 5 grams of cocoa leaf extract and give it to your birds for 2 consecutive days. Give that cocoa leaf 2 consecutive days to get them active in order to start eating their food and at the same time start drinking water. Because when they are too weak, if you didn't discover this infection very early, it's going to weaken them. And even eating the food will be difficult. You can even dilute the medications or the extracts or the organic, both synthetic, and if they don't take it, there is no way they can get cured. So the only way to affect them, the only way to energize them, the only way to get them active in order to drink the water or the extract or eat the feed is to get that cocoa leaf, blend it properly well, administer that cocoa leaf for 2 days, then you get them energized to eat food. And once they start eating, then administer either the grape seed or the pawpaw seed or the green tea. These 3 extracts will help you to clear everything about coccidiosis in your poultry. The other method is through good hygiene or good biosecurity. Immediately you discover that your poultry or your birds are having coccidiosis, assuming you are using the battery cage system, that means all your poultry birds are in cages. First thing you should do is wash all their drinking and eating utensils. The drinkers, the feeders, clean the cages properly well. And do what? Clean the floor. Make sure you clean the floor and disinfect the floor very well. Then administer these 3 extracts: pawpaw seed, green tea extract, and grape seed. These 3 extracts will cure every infection as a result of coccidiosis or any bacterial infection at all in your poultry beds and get your birds back to life. Then, assuming you are using a full house or a full poultry house called deep litter system. This is a system where the poultry birds lives in a closed environment, maybe in a building, and they make use of the floor beddings. Maybe you use either wood shavings or the offals. It can be wood shavings, can be sawdust, it can be rice bran, and any other thing you are using, provided your birds are marching on the floor of all those beddings. The first thing you should do is, first of all, clean all the floor, pack all the sawdust or wood shavings or whatever you're using on the floor. Make sure you clean it properly well. That's the first stage of curing or getting rid of coccidiosis in your poultry pen. Clear or pack them very far or out of your poultry house or completely out of your poultry house. Very far. Let it not be very close. Then wash the floor. If you have other pens, other subsidiary pens, or any other poultry house, please pack all those birds to that particular area. Mop the floor, disinfect the floor properly well. Bring in a very fresh poultry beddings. Bring back the birds to that particular environment or to that particular house. Then administer all these extracts. If you are an organic poultry farmer, administer this extract between 5 to 7 days. Your birds will get back to full life. Assuming the birds have been affected and you are too careless that you didn't discover the signs and symptoms on time, and they have been down that they hardly eat or drink the water, first get that cocoa leaf. Cocoa leaf is very good extract that can do what? Energize your poultry birds to start eating very well and start drinking very well. This is what you do. Remember, this method is good for day old. It's good for 1 week. Good for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5, 6 till maturity. It doesn't have to do with age. So any age, in as much as they have what? Bacteria, coccidiosis. Please use this method. It's going to get rid of it and you are clear. Your birds are cleared and you get a very good result. Please, if you have any question concerning this particular topic, drop it on the comment section. Let's expand this particular platform to reach other farmers that have interest and that may need this particular information, because this is a very good information you have gotten now. Let this information reach others. Bye till I come with another interesting topic. Till then, bye for now.